Yes! Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Completionist. I know it looks stupid, but go with it. In the early days of the show, I sat myself down and I played God of War, and I was blown away at how incredible the game was. I haven't gotten a rush like that from a game I hadn't played in years. Well, last year around this exact same time, I took a 2-month break, and during my break, I completed almost every single God of War game in a few weeks sitting. Prior to that, I only played the first one for the show. So today, we're gonna catch up with our old good friend Kratos, the God of War. The original God of War was a critical and financial hit that put its developer, Santa Monica Studios, right on the map. See, right there. That's them right there. That's also a map. It was so popular that the game went on to become one of the PS2's flagship titles, with many considering it as the defining symbol of the console itself. A follow-up to this massive hit was inevitable, and when Cory Barlog, the game director of God of War 2, set out to create the sequel, he prioritized the few areas in which the original game was criticized for. By expanding on the previous game's story, making sure that the game's most epic moments occurred within actual gameplay, and providing richer puzzles and more boss fights, God of War 2 ensured that it would be met with just as much praise as its predecessor. But it's been a few years since God of War 2's release in 2007, so it just might be the right time to re-examine the title that was known as the swan song of the PS2 era. And with the PS4 port of God of War 3 around the corner and all the other God of War packs out there on PS3, there's never been a better time to now get invested in the story of Kratos and his thirst for vengeance.
Do you see, gods of Olympus? Do you need more proof than this?
So, I don't recommend playing God of War 2 without playing the first one. And I can't stress that enough in this type of game. The game picks up where it last left off. Kind of. If you forget that God of War Ghost of Sparta happened. So click the link on the screen right now if you want to check out our review of God of War 1 to get you up to speed. Otherwise, you're going to get very lost in what I'm about to unveil. Having killed and replaced the previous God of War Ares, Kratos is sitting pretty on his throne. Really pretty. But apparently, Kratos still isn't free of the nightmares that the gods promised to relieve him of. So he's been taking his anger out on the world of mortals by commanding his Spartan soldiers to conquer and destroy whatever city he points them at, which today happens to be the city of Rhodes. Kratos' old pal Athena shows up and warns him that he's not too popular with the rest of the gods in Olympus, and that they won't stand for his belly aching much longer. These gods seem to have a lot more drama between them than the teenagers of Beverly Hills 90210. But Kratos ignores Athena's advice and decides to drop in on the city of Rhodes and crash the party himself. Scandalous! But just as Kratos begins breaking everything in sight, a mysterious eagle swoops down from the sky, shrinks Kratos back down to his fun-sized human self, and brings the Colossus of Rhodes to life. Kratos makes his way through the war-torn city with the giant mannequin stalking him every step of the way. Finally confronting the Colossus, Kratos is offered the Blade of Olympus by Zeus himself in order to aid him in the battle. But in order to power the blade, Kratos is going to have to dump all of his godly strength into it. After Metroiding himself multiple times and making himself mortal once again, Kratos is able to wield the blade and slay the Colossus. But because Kratos is too busy gloating in victory, he doesn't notice the huge hand falling right on top of him, which crushes him and leaves him helpless as a kitten. It's then when Zeus appears and reveals that he was the mysterious eagle all along. Zeus offers Kratos one final chance to swear loyalty to the gods, but when he refuses, Zeus runs Kratos through the Blade of Olympus. Oh, and just to be a dick, he also completely annihilates Kratos' Spartan army in the blink of an eye. As Kratos is dragged down to hell, he hears the voice of Gaia, the Titan spirit of the earth. Mother of the earth. She gives our crestfallen hero a much-needed pep talk, heals his wounds, and convinces him to resume his quest to kill Zeus. Once Kratos climbs his way out of the pit, Gaia explains that the only way he'll be able to bring down Zeus is to travel back in time and strike him down at the moment he betrayed Kratos. The problem is, time travel is the territory of the Sisters of Fate, who control destiny itself. And of course, without hesitation, Kratos hops aboard a conveniently located Pegasus and heads toward the Sisters of Fate. Seriously, where in the blue hell did this horse come from? Did Kratos just Pegasus jack someone? I mean, that does sound like something Kratos would do, but who just leaves the Pegasus there? Is there just free Pegasus parking in hell? I want answers! Get me the valet man! The best thing about God of War and the world it builds is that we are on the hunt for gods and titans that exist in Greek mythology. I may have said this last time, but Kratos feels like we have our own point of view in this story. In the first game, we played a man tormented by his past and wanting to end his life or suffering. Now we're a god who is betrayed by his own kind, and Kratos wants to murder everyone that stands in his path, including Zeus. For the love of God, it's Zeus, the love of gods. See what I did there?
You will never be the ruler of Olympus.
From its larger-than-life characters, to its epic set pieces, to its classy-looking locales, everything in God of War 2 looks like it was ripped right out of Greek myth. The game goes to great lengths to immerse you into its world and keep you there. It's delightful to run into and ultimately kill characters from Greek legend that you recognize.
Damn, that looks just like me.
The fact that so many of Kratos' weapons and abilities come straight from classic Greek tales only reinforces how much attention to detail the developers had when creating this world. For a game this old, it looks so damn pretty. Not only does the lighting help to create areas that appear atmospheric and elegant, it also helps to differentiate the vibe between the game's various locales. A city that's under siege looks appropriately different than a temple that hasn't been explored in years. Kratos himself moves smooth as silk. His animations are impressively fluid, especially in combat. This PS3 port, while not as beautiful in my opinion as the God of War port, is awesome. Everything is still on par as the previous game, if not a little better with regard to level design and artistic style. For someone who never played these games before, they look great in 720p. Few franchises do the whole remastering thing well, and God of War 1 and 2 are great examples of that. God of War 2 also utilizes a fixed camera angle, which keeps the focus directly on Kratos while he's in combat. The camera also clearly displays the impressive set pieces that are often present in the backgrounds. It's clear that presenting a big, grand sense of scope and scale was a priority for the developers, and opting to make sure the camera was always pointed where it needed to be pointed was a priority. This unique type of camera also allows for nearby bonus chests to remain hidden throughout the environments, which means that many of them can only be found through careful exploration. God of War's signature orchestral soundtrack is back in full force for the sequel. During battle, the music is relentlessly grandiose, and it gets you so pumped. But when the music, when out of combat let's say, when exploring, is appropriately tranquil. Some of the best tracks in the game are the more serene ones. The sound effects are just the right amount of disturbing. When you fold an enemy in half and hear their bones crack, you can practically feel it yourself. God of War 2 is unapologetically epic. It's loud, fast, and completely over the top. But ultimately, it's a game that makes you feel like a badass while playing it. The game is so much fun that it does not matter how much of a meathead Kratos may be. Honestly, Kratos shouts every single line he says.
By taking the blade of Olympus back and driving it into Zeus's heart, it holds the power I once wielded as the God of War.
Stop shouting! I'm not deaf!
I'm starting to think he has to yell, kind of like how sharks have to keep moving or else they'll die. Shark Week! The gameplay of God of War 2 comes down to combat, puzzles, combat platforming, and combat. Seriously, even if you're not in a full-on battle, you're still probably hurting something. And it's great. The game's combo system is deep with a lot of room for self-expression and creativity. You've got quick light attacks, heavy attacks, damaging swings, and aerial flurries all at your disposal. And that's just the tip of the beatdown iceberg. On the defensive side of things, you've got a dodge to quickly move you out of harm's way. And eventually, Kratos gets an item that allows him to turn an opponent's own attack against them if the player perfectly times the press of a button correctly. It makes you feel like a boss. In addition to his famous Blades of Athena, Kratos can also wield other weapons, which include a barbarian hammer and the frickin' Spear of Destiny. He's also got a slew of magic spells up his sleeve, such as lightning that chains between his foes, a stomp so massive that it quakes the ground around him, and the head of a gorgon that can turn enemies in its gaze into stone. And just in case all of this didn't make Kratos more Kratosy enough for you, he also has a brand new mode in this game called the Rage of the Titans. Once activated, Kratos deals out more damage and takes less damage for a limited time. I don't want to say it's like God mode because that's just a pun on this game overall, but you definitely feel like you're a god in this mode. Everyone just gets killed, everyone gets out of your way. You're invincible, you're the king, you're the man, you're the god of war. I could go on for days, you guys. Soldiers of both the living and the undead variety make up the majority of the enemies you'll encounter, but you'll be tearing your way through an entire bestiary's worth of creatures from all over Greek legend. From minotaurs to gorgons to cyclopses to Harry Hussein skeletons, no one is safe from Kratos' bad mood. Now, a lot of these guys are from God of War 1, but the designs have changed quite a bit. When you kill your enemies, a bunch of red orbs will burst forth and fly towards Kratos, which can be used to leveling up your weapons and spells. These similar orbs can be found by breaking objects in the environment and finding chests. These chests won't always give you red orbs though. Sometimes they'll give you green or blue orbs, which refill Kratos' health and magic meters respectively. You'll also come across chests that contain Gorgon Eyes, which increase Kratos' max health, and Phoenix Feathers, which increase his max magic. All of these things are not new, they're just reintroduced back into the game, so if you've played God of War 1, it's just like God of War 1. The boss fights this time around are more memorable, unique, and utterly epic in scale. They require you to exercise the many skills, abilities, and weapons you've acquired over the course of the game if you expect to succeed. And all of these, each one, demonstrate how much of an artist Kratos can be when it comes to killing someone. The bosses and some of the game's tougher non-boss enemies will eventually display a giant button prompt over their heads when they've taken enough damage, doing big damage or killing the enemy altogether. Again, all these things are just from God of War 1, but enhanced, improved if you will. The platforming sections of the game also involve Kratos using his blades of Athena to climb, crawl, and swing his way around obstacles. A lot of the time, you'll also have to kill a bunch of dudes who are dumb enough to get in your way while you're dangling. The puzzles of God of War 2 usually have Kratos pushing or kicking heavy objects into specific positions, or pulling switches to activate mechanisms in the levels. In true brutal fashion, some of these puzzles require Kratos to use corpses, or soon-to-be corpses, as tools. Way to think outside the box. Like Taco Bell. Is that Taco Bell's thing? Live outside the bun, not outside the box. What's outside the box?
I don't think there's a think outside the box.
Thinking outside the box.
There's gotta be something outside the box, you guys.
No, just think outside the box. Just like your thoughts.
What is to think outside? Is that just a phrase? It's not Taco Bell. It's not Taco Bell, you
It
guys.
could be Taco Bell.
It could be.
Are you really gonna ask me about Taco Bell?
Look, we need to eat. Having murdered his way through mountains, swamps, and temples, Kratos finally comes face to face with the Sisters of Fate. He demands access to his own past, but when the sisters refuse Kratos, he calmly explains why it's imperative to him. Nah, just kidding. He murders them. He murders everyone, all three of them. With access to their loom chamber, Kratos finally returns to the moment of Zeus' betrayal. He manages to get his hands on the blade of Olympus, and he and Zeus then fly high into the sky for their final battle. The first stage of the fight sees Zeus growing huge like a monster from Power Rangers and trying to zap you with lightning bolts. He also summons a bunch of adds to pester you, which turn out to be the key to defeating him. If you manage to avoid his projectiles and kill enough adds, Zeus will eventually shrink back down to your level. This time, he's ready to fight you mano a mano, or gado like the butt boy he is. He throws dash punches and lightning strikes your way, and even steals the blade of Olympus off of you. This is undoubtedly the hardest fight in the game. Zeus hits hard, is extremely fast, and rarely takes hit stun at all. You're going to have to read his patterns and attack only when absolutely safe in order to survive this fight. Given that you're only doing damage to him every once in a while, this fight can be a bit grueling. But with patience and a little bit of luck, Zeus will fall like all the rest. In an uncharacteristic move, Kratos gives in and kneels in front of Zeus, asking him to deliver the final blow to end his life. But just as the blade is about to fall, Kratos turns to grab Zeus in his moment of vulnerability. Athena shows up, pleading with Kratos to spare Zeus. But when Kratos tries to deal the final blow to Zeus, Athena throws herself in the way. With her dying breath, she reveals that Zeus is actually Kratos' father.
That's impossible!
You know, I really want to see how many times we can use that Skywalker clip on the show when talking about dads, betrayal, and reveals. I think we're at 3 now. Athena explains that Zeus has been trying to kill Kratos to end the cycle of patricide that started with Zeus killing his own father, the Titan Kronos, which is what really ignited the Great War between the gods and the Titans years ago. Despite her warning to Kratos that killing Zeus would destroy all of Olympus itself, Kratos vows to murder his father, who has since flown the coop. Kratos returns to the Loom Chamber, which allows him to go all the way back in time to the moment the Titans lost the Great War. He brings every last Titan back with him into the present, and then, just as Zeus is rallying all the Olympian gods into a united cause against Kratos, Kratos invades Mount Olympus. With his new army of Titans at his side, Kratos has commanded time itself to bend his every— wait a minute. If Kratos could go back to any moment in time, why would he go back to when Zeus betrayed him or back to the Great War? Why wouldn't he just go back to the day that he killed his own family and prevent himself from doing so? Wouldn't that just take care of all of his problems? He wouldn't be so tormented. He'd get a second chance. Progress. But this is a game, so I get that. Anyways, the point is, the game ends right here in this epic moment. Kratos riding the Titans into battle against the Olympian gods. Oh my god, I can't wait to play God of War 3.
Zeus, your son has returned! I bring the destruction of Olympus!
God of War 2 has a slew of unlockable content. Firstly, Titan mode, a harder version of the main game, is unlocked the first time you beat the game, along with the mode called Bonus Play. Bonus Play is basically New Game Plus, allowing Kratos to retain all of his upgrades and weapons for a brand new adventure. And by brand new, I just mean the game over again. The Bonus Play really shines because of all the special abilities that can be activated during it by using the Urns of Power. 4 of these urns can be found in the main campaign, and 2 of them are located in other bonus modes. When activated, these urns can do things like increase the amount of red orbs spawned, infinite magic, or make it so that any enemy you touch will turn into stone and die. Things can get hilariously broken in Bonus Play, so if you're looking for that, you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Completing the main game also grants access to the Challenge of the Titans, a series of 7 extremely difficult combat challenges. These trials include killing a set amount of enemies under a time limit and defeating all of your foes without getting hit once. This is by far the most challenging things the game has to offer, so check it out if you're looking to prove just how badass you are. You'll even get ranked on your performance, so no one can question your prowess once you're done with it. There's also the Arena of Fates mode, which is unlocked by earning the rank of Titan in the Challenge of Titans mode. This mode allows the player to specify extremely specific and customizable combat scenarios in a controlled environment. It's basically God of War 2's training mode. You get to choose which enemies spawn and how many of them spawn. You can even set them to continually respawn if you need to practice against that type of enemy. Kratos can also be customized, offering infinite health, magic, or rage of the Titans. Play to your heart's content. Finally, God of War 2 includes a nice amount of costumes for Kratos to wear on subsequent playthroughs. 5 of them can be unlocked by beating the game on various difficulties. Another is unlocked by collecting 20 Cyclops eyes in the main game. And the last can be unlocked by achieving God ranking in the game's Challenge of the Titans mode. These costumes range from awesome to just silly. They include things like Kratos' original appearance, a giant codfish, or being able to play as Hercules or the goddess Athena herself. This isn't cosplay. This here is cost business.
Athena! You will...
God of War 2 is a fantastic sequel that keeps everything from the original, including the difficult parts. Yes, that's right, they're back. The difficulty modes are back and they're scarier than ever. Playing through the game on the Titan setting is a big pain in the ass. And while the rewards are fun, there isn't really a point to play the game once you've completed all the challenges, and you guys get the point. But, like its predecessor, it's not that bad. The game is incredibly accessible, so with just a little bit of elbow grease, you can complete this game with ease. The sequel shines because of its story and compelling advancements in gameplay. Suffice to say, this is better than the first one, and I'm very excited to go on and play God of War 3, or Ghost of Sparta, or Chains of Olympus, or Ascension. Wait, what, Ascension's bad? Oh, that makes me sad. Oh well, one day. God of War 2 is without a doubt an incredibly fun experience that more than deserves its place in PlayStation history. It consistently makes the player feel powerful and in control while keeping them immersed in the Greek mythology of the God of War universe. It plays great, it offers a lot of replay value, but if you're not into hack and slash games and you're not really a big fan of grinding for orbs or levels and getting really into the whole repetitive thing of replaying the end of the game over and over again to unlock things, this game may be a little bit much for you. So, with that in mind, guys, I give this game my completionist rating of finna Pete it.
Finna Pete it.
You guys still here? Before you go, make sure you click that subscribe button smack down with your mouse, or your keyboard, or your tab button, whatever you want with YouTube. And hey, if you missed last week's episode, give it a click right over here. Or if you just want to check out some of our other awesome videos, give them a click right here. Now back to myself, cause I'm talking, I guess. Back to me, yeah. That's all the time we've got for today, guys. So please, as always, let us know what you thought about today's episode somewhere on the internet. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Reddit, all that great stuff. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Every single one of you is important to us. You have no idea. You're all awesome. Even the guy who doesn't think I'm the greatest. You are awesome too, sir. Thank you very much. Now, if you excuse me, Mark, show some grueling, brutal gameplay with some random happy music. It's just, it all goes together. I'm insane.